दलित लोग हैं, दलित लोग नीची कास्ट होती है।
हमारी बराबरी पे कैसे बैठ जाएंगे?
छुआछूत चल ही रहा है अब तक।
उन्हें खवाए देता है, हम उन्हें यहाँ खाते रहें।
हम लोग नीची कौम के हैं, वो लोग ऊंची कौम के हैं, तो उन लोगों के घर में हम लोग कैसे जा सकते हैं?
छुआछूत मानते हैं ना, बच्चे भी बड़े भी सब लोग मानते हैं।
The Hathras case shook the country. It made the citizens numb, but more dangerously, it put the women of the so-called lower caste in a very vulnerable position. The inclusion of caste in this case has sparked widespread debate. One side condemning the caste angle being given to this incident, and the other side using the same caste hierarchy and power dynamics to explain the alleged rape. Whatever the reasons be, it is a fact that the rigid caste system is still a widespread and rampant social phenomena which dehumanizes the depressed classes and pushes them further into poverty and isolation. Caste system is a social menace which has time and again been overshadowed by sensationalism, TRP, politicians and toxic patriarchy, and because of this, today caste has created even deeper divisions in the society. Oh come on, Baba Saheb Ambedkar did away with caste system by making caste discrimination unconstitutional, and even after that the remnants of caste system, even if some things were left, the rapid urbanization and globalization would have completely finished caste. This is Naya Bharat, man. There is no caste. Constitutional morality is not a natural sentiment, it has to be cultivated. We must realize that our people have yet to learn it. Democracy in India is only a top dressing of an Indian soil which is essentially undemocratic. This is Baba Saheb Ambedkar speaking, not me. And for the urbanization and Naya Bharat people, 27% of the Indian population willingly admit to practice caste discrimination, and 27% of Indian population is more than 32 million people. Adding to this, the so-called urbanized cities of Bangalore and Hyderabad have time and again reported caste-related violence. In 2016, Bangalore reported 209 incidents of caste violence and Hyderabad reported 179 incidents. Caste in India is very much alive and is very much thriving. So instead of running away from the reality, let us understand what caste has done to our nation. My name is Ishan Fauzdar and you are watching The Upfront. At the onset, it is important to understand that Varna system and caste system are two completely different systems. While caste can be said to be an extension of the Varna system, the two cannot and should not be used interchangeably as they are used in normal usage. The Varna system finds its inception in the Purusha Sukta of the Rig Veda, while the proper institutionalization of caste can be found in Manu Smriti. It should be understood that the myopic hierarchical caste system which we are witnessing today is not to be blamed completely on the Hindu religion. There are several evolutionary theories and several factors which may have contributed in shaping the caste system as we are witnessing it today, ranging from the Aryan-Dravidian divide to numerous sociological reasons. The caste system as we understand it today has Brahmins at the top, followed by Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and at the bottom Shudras. The class which is not included in this pyramid are called the outcasts or untouchables or Dalits, which the constitution today calls as the scheduled caste, the SCs. The tribals are a completely different sect but were also outcasts and are today called STs, scheduled tribes. The Vaishyas and the Shudras are together called the other backward castes or the OBCs. The so-called lower caste of India, namely the SCs and STs, have been discriminated against and pushed down for centuries, which has had devastating impacts on these communities. These people who have been called untouchables have been deprived of any and every opportunity of growth, and even today these communities make up the lowermost strata of Indian society in both sociological and economical terms. According to a study in rural areas, 37.8% of government schools make Dalit children sit separately from non-Dalit children. In 33% of Dalit villages, the public health workers refuse to enter Dalit homes. 48% of Dalit villages are denied access of public water resources. And in 70% of rural villages, Dalits and non-Dalits cannot sit and eat together. Just go ahead and type Dalit discrimination on Google and you will be stunned. These numbers, which may be horrifying, do not even start to reflect the insult, frustration and agony which these people go through every day. There is a saying in Hindi, जिस पे बीतती है वही जानता है. Only the one who endures knows. Imagine the condition of a child who is made to clean the school toilet every day. Imagine the condition of a mother who has access neither to public health services nor water resources. And imagine the psychological state of a community which, let alone enter, is not even allowed to sit together with upper caste and eat. And all of this is happening in the 21st century's Naya Bharat. The social discrimination and ostracization further makes it extremely difficult for Dalits to earn a livelihood, get a job and perform at par with everyone else. Hence, this community is kept in poverty and backwardness. The numbers reflect this. Talking about ownership, the STs and STs fall in the lowest category owning property, around 0.5 to 0.6%, that is only about 0.5 to 0.6% of the ST-SC community owns property. This number is considerably high for OBCs and general. Look at this graph and keep an eye on the red colored bar. The red depicts the number of SC owned food businesses in India. In all three graphs, total, rural and urban, the SCs remain the lowest. Let's look at another graph, this time relating to employment and jobs. Keep your eye on the light blue and blue bars which depict Dalit and tribal respectively. In white collar jobs, Dalits and tribals remain the lowest, while in unskilled labor, Dalits and tribals are at the top. This shows us that these people are still having to do the same work which was shoved down their throat by the caste system centuries ago. And we are living in a society which functions in a way in order to normalize this discrimination. There are a lot of numbers which I can present, but here is the gist. The lower caste, the Dalits and the tribals are subjected to severe discrimination. They are kept away from quality education and proper medical facilities. As a result, these Dalit kids don't have enough education or enough exposure to compete on par with other kids, and hence they don't get good jobs. As a matter of fact, even in job recruitment, caste becomes a factor which further does not let these Dalit kids to attain good white collar jobs. When these kids don't get good jobs, they are forced to do menial jobs, unskilled labor, manual scavenging, and hence are kept in poverty for the rest of their lives. These kids grow up to be adults, marry, have kids, and then this cycle again follows. This is the way in which the vicious myopic caste system has kept these communities at the bottom of the Indian society in every possible way. Untouchables are untouchables for all situations except assault, murder, rape, dacoity, etc., etc., etc. It is ironical how, while inflicting violence, the so-called upper caste forgets that untouchables are not to be touched. If the discrimination and ostracization was not enough, inflicting violence upon the lower caste is the usual way of keeping them in their place. Be it beheading a 14-year-old girl just because she belonged to a lower caste, or killing a Dalit groom just because he rode a horse. Some people, who I call the upper caste fundamentalists, have used the method of hook or crook to assert their dominance over the lower caste. In this power struggle, power dynamic, the ST-SC women were and are the worst affected. The report on 20 years of Prevention of Atrocities Act noted that registered rapes against ST and ST women outnumbered all other crimes, offences, including dacoity, robbery, murder, assault, etc., etc., etc. Over the decade to 2016, the crime rate against Dalits rose by 25% according to a India Spend analysis. Looking from an international perspective, India scores a whopping 7.2 plus score in the Social Hostility Index conducted by Pew Research Center, bagging a place in the very high hostile league. And interestingly, most of this violence is directed toward the lower castes according to US State Department. This is the condition of lower caste people in India. Article 17 of the Indian Constitution made untouchability in any form unconstitutional in 1950. Adding to this, the equality principle enshrined in Article 14 and Article 15 were made part of the basic structure of the Constitution. However, a Constitution alone cannot bring in a change, and here I'll quote Baba Saheb Ambedkar again. However good a Constitution may be, it is sure to turn out bad if those who are called to work on it happen to be a bad lot. However bad a Constitution may be, it may turn out to be good if those who are called to work on it happen to be a good lot. The lot, the political leaders, are who make the Constitution work, and in our case this is not happening. Adding to the Constitution, the Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act was promulgated to safeguard the rights of the STs and SCs, but it has been a total failure. The cases have been left pending, and the yellow line which depicts the pending cases, which you can see in the graph, is more than enough to show the failure of this act. A law can only be effective when it corresponds to a social change. No matter how many laws we make on women's security or Dalit violence, unless there is an inherent change in the way the society thinks, these laws will not be of much use. Yes, laws can at times be used to accelerate a social change. But in India, there is no major paradigm shift in the way people think about caste. In a counterproductive sense, people have started thinking that caste has vanished when it has not. Politicians have turned this caste issue into vote bank politics, and reservation has become a weapon for the elections. You see, the problem lies in our politics and not in the reservation system. To solve this issue, there is a need to put a bar on the use of caste in elections for asking votes, and there is a need for making reservations available to those who are in need. We need to ask ourselves that when the letter of the Constitution and the very principle of natural justice does not allow for discrimination, does not allow for caste, who are we to divide and discriminate? What is needed is to let Dalits and other lower castes, the Adivasis, to have good education, to have proper medical facilities and all other public facilities, which is essential and is provided to every other human being by the state. When these kids, these Dalit kids, get quality education, they will get good jobs. They will be competent to struggle in the world with everyone else on par, and will eventually break free of the vicious cycle of poverty and caste. Caste is a religious tradition which has no place in the times we live in, and it is high time to do away with the caste system. If you like the work that we are doing, please do like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel. Press the red button which has the word subscribe on it just below the video. Also press the bell icon so that you get regular updates on whenever we upload a new video. Thank you so much.